Photoshop CS6 Advanced. Adobe Photoshop CS6 is an advanced version of Photoshop with enhanced tools for video editing. CS6 allows background saving, which means that while another document is compiling and archiving itself, it is possible to simultaneously edit an image. It is a raster-based graphics editing software. Starting Photoshop CS6. To start Photoshop, follow these steps. Select Start, Adobe Master Collection CS6, Adobe Photoshop CS6. The screen appears. Components of Photoshop screen. The work area has these components. Menu bar. It contains menus organized by tasks. For example, the Layers menu contains commands for working with layers. In Photoshop, you can customize the menu bar by showing, hiding, or adding color to menu items. Options bar. It provides options for using a tool. Active image area. It displays the active open file. The window containing an open file is also called the document window. Photoshop clipboard area is arranged for us to focus on creating and editing images. Status bar. Status bar is a horizontal bar usually at the bottom of the screen or window. It can shift or set it on the top, left, or right also. Basically, it shows the status or information of a document being edited or a program running. The displayed information can be changed by every click. Toolbox. It consists of tools for creating and editing images. Whenever we start the application, the toolbox appears at the left side of the screen. You can move the toolbox by dragging its title bar. You can also show or hide the toolbar by choosing Window menu and click on the option Tools. Some tools in Toolbox have options that appear in the context-sensitive tool options bar. These include the tools that use Type, Select, Print, Draw, Simple, Edit, Move, Annotate, and View Image. Other tools in the toolbox allow you to change foreground or background color. You can expand some tools to show hidden tools beneath them. A small triangle at the lower right of the Tools icon signals the presence of hidden tools. You can view information about any tool by positioning the pointer over it. The name of the tool appears in a tooltip below the pointer. Palettes. Palettes help you monitor and modify your work. The Photoshop options bar include a palette wall that helps you organize and manage palettes. The palettes will store palettes that you use frequently so that you don't have to keep them open on the work area. The palette wall is available only when the screen resolution is greater than 800 pixels by 600 pixels. A setting of at least 1024 by 768 is recommended. Click a Palettes tab to use the palette wall. The palette remains open until you click outside it or click the Palettes tab again. You can customize the default palette arrangement in these ways: by hiding or showing all palettes, including the toolbox and options bar. For this, press Tab. By hiding or showing all palettes except for the toolbox. For this, press Shift plus Tab. By displaying a palette menu. By collapsing a group of palettes to their titles only. You can open the palette menu even when the palette is collapsed. Layers palette. The Layers palette lists all layers, groups, and layer effects in an image. You can use the Layers palette to show and hide layers, create new layers, and work with groups of layers. You can access additional commands and options in the Layers palette menu. Creating a new image. Steps to create a new image are: Step 1. Select New, present in the File menu to create a new blank image. Step 2. If desired, type a name of the image and set the width and height. To match the width and height of the new image to that of any open image, choose a file name from the bottom section of the window menu. Step 3. Set the resolution and color mode. Step 4. Select an option for the contents of the background layer. White. It fills the background contents or first layer with white, the default background color. Background color. It fills the background or first layer with the current background color. Step 5. When you finish, you can save the settings by clicking Save Preset or clicking OK to open the new file. Opening files. You can open files using Open command and Open Recent command. Shortcut keys. New, Ctrl+N. Open, Ctrl+O. Save, Ctrl+S. Save as, Shift+Ctrl+S. Close, Ctrl+W. Close all, Alt+Ctrl+W. Print, Ctrl+P. Exit, Ctrl+Q. Undo, Ctrl+Z. Step forward, Shift+Ctrl+Z. Step backward, Alt+Ctrl+Z. Cut, Ctrl+X. Copy, Ctrl+C. Paste, Ctrl+V. Paste in place, Shift+Ctrl+V. Paste into, Alt+Shift+Ctrl+V. Fill, Shift+F5. Free transform, Ctrl+T. Color setting, Shift+Ctrl+K. Image size, Alt+Ctrl+I. Canvas size, Alt+Ctrl+C. Layer, Shift+Ctrl+N. Select all, Ctrl+A. Reselect, Shift+Ctrl+D. To draw with the pen tool. The pen tool creates straight lines and smooth flowing curves. You can use the pen tool in conjunction with the shape tools to create complex shapes. Steps for using pen tool are: Step 1. Select the pen tool. Step 2. Set these tool-specific options. To add an anchor point when you click a line segment or delete an anchor point when you click it, select Auto, Add or Delete in the Options bar. To preview path segments as you draw, click the inverted arrow next to the shape buttons in the Options bar and select Rubber Band. Step 3. Position the pen pointer where you want to begin to draw and click to define the first anchor point. Click or drag to set anchor point. Click or drag to set anchor points for additional segments. Step 4. Complete the path. To end an open path, use Ctrl, click. To close a path, position the pen pointer over the first anchor point. A small loop appears next to the pen tip when it is positioned correctly. Click to close path. Step 5. Create a new path in the Paths palette before you begin drawing to automatically save the work path as named path. Painting tools. The painting tools change the color of the pixels in an image. The brush tool and the pencil tool work like traditional drawing tools by applying color with brush strokes. The gradient tool, fill command, and paint bucket tool apply color to large areas. Tools like the eraser tool, blur tool, and smudge tool modify the existing colors in the image. The power of painting in Photoshop is in the options that you can set to specify how a tool applies or modifies color. You can apply color gradually, with soft edge, with large brush strokes, with various dynamics, with different blending properties, and with brushes of different shapes. You can also paint using an airbrush. Layers. Layers allow you to work on one element of an image without disturbing the others. Think of layers as sheets piled over one another. Let's learn the ways you can add new layers. To create a new layer with the same effects as an existing layer, select the existing layer in the Layers palette. Drag the layer to the New Layer button at the bottom of the Layer palette. The newly created layer contains all the effects of the existing one. You can see through transparent areas of a layer to the layers below. You can change the composition of an image by changing the order and attributes of layers. In addition, special features such as adjustment layers, fill layers, and layer styles lets you create sophisticated effects. Transparent areas on a layer lets you see through the layers as shown. To create a new layer or group, a new layer appears either above the selected layer or within the selected group in the Layers palette. To create a new layer or group using default options, follow these steps. Step 1. Click the New Layer button or New Group button in the Layers palette. Or, in the Layer menu, select Layer, New, Layer, or choose Layer, New, Group. Step 2. Select New Layer or New Group from the Layers palette menu. Alt-click on the New Layer button or New Group button in the Layers palette to display the New Layer dialog box and set layer options. Step 3. Control-click on the New Layer button or New Group button in the Layers palette to add a layer below the currently selected layer. Step 4. Set the layer options and click OK. Step 5. In the New Layer dialog box, specify a name for the layer or group. Use previous layer to create clipping mask. Option is not available for groups. Color assigns a color to the layer or group in the Layers palette. Mode specifies an opacity level for the layer or group. Layer groups help you organize and manage layers. You can use groups to arrange your layers in a logical order and to reduce clutter in the Layers palette. You can nest groups within other groups. You can also use groups to apply attributes and masks to multiple layers simultaneously. Creating shape. To create a shape on a shape layer, follow these steps. Step 1. Select a shape tool or a pen tool. Make sure that the Shape Layers button is selected in the option bar. Step 2. Select the color of the shape, click the color swatch in the options bar, and then choose a color from the color picker. Saving image files. To preserve all the Photoshop features in your edited image, layers, effects, masks, styles, and so forth, it's best to save your image in Photoshop format, PSD. Like most file formats, PSD can support files only up to 2 GB in size. In Photoshop, if you are working with document files larger than 2 GB, you can save your image in the large document format, PSB, Photoshop RAW, flattened image only, and TIFF, up to 4 GB in size only. You can use these commands to save images. Save. It saves the changes you have made to the current file. In Photoshop, the file is saved in the current format. Save as. It saves an image in a different location or under another file name. In Photoshop, the Save As command lets you save an image in a different format and with different options too. Save a version. This command helps to save different versions of a file and comment on each. It is available for an image that is managed by a version queue workspace. If you're working with a file from an Adobe version queue project, the document title bar provides additional information about the status of the file. Save for web. Save optimized.